been a while since I've seen my friend Hailey King. We're out here at WR Jackson, hole 2. We skipped the first hole because, we just wanted to get out in front of these guys. She's gonna let me hang out with her a couple of holes while she gets ready for the first PDGA major of the year. Bam. What are you throwing here?
I'm gonna throw a Wraith.
So we're on hole 2. I don't know how true the T signs are to what we're throwing, but
I believe it's pretty accurate. It's 390 and it feels about 390. Really early. I'm gonna go with my other Wraith.
oh, that one's straighter.
Much better.
You just said you like playing solo rounds early.
Yep.
Why is that?
You get in front of the crowd. I wake up very early, and then I have the rest of the day to myself. It's pretty nice.
So the short putts, you don't even worry about those.
Yeah, no. If it's within 20 feet, I just pick it up. That's what the practice basket at home is for. I say it's got to be my biggest pet peeve. When we're all out here playing a practice round, and you have a group of like 4 people, and they all take 5 putts each, and it's like...
They're using the basket as like putting practice?
Yeah, it's not what it's for.
What do you think of this course?
Oh, I love this course. I don't know, it's either between this and the Green Mountain Championship property. It is probably the best open wooded course you can find. I think the course design is really good, especially they made a few changes this year that I think are gonna allow FPL to score more, but it's not gonna be like stupid easy, if that makes sense. I know a lot of courses, it's either like way too easy or way too hard, and I feel like this is right in between. I can throw in the woods, and that's very helpful.
Charlotte, how's that been?
Oh, Charlotte's been amazing. I've met a lot of people down there. I actually met a coach recently who also is playing disc golf, so it's like perfect for me, working on my physical health on top of disc golf. Get to play with him and talk to him about that stuff. And just the Charlotte disc golf scene is absolutely amazing. I play with, I forgot what the team is called actually, but there's like this whole, they do league every Wednesday and I'm a part of their little group, so it's really cool to find my little home in a new home, so it's really cool. Love that community.
Hole 3, par 4, 594 feet. This thing does like a crazy S-turn. You got to get through that first gap, go to the right, and then it finishes way
Back
up the hill
left.
around to the left.
I'm gonna throw my Roadrunner. That's the one tree.
6 inches from perfection?
We'll throw our other Roadrunner.
Okay.
Oh, yoinked it.
You don't want to be long straight, right?
No, that's probably the biggest mistake you can make other than grip locking it straight right. We're gonna go with our new Hawkeye. Yeah, that's about all I could do. Not even close.
Breeze through your long range drivers real quick.
Long range drivers?
Yeah.
I only have 2 molds. I throw Wraiths and Destroyers. They're all max weight. Super overstable one that you'll see me throwing in the wind. And then these are my 2 straighties. And then the Wraiths are, classic Wraiths. Straight, a little bit of turn, and then some good fade. We're on hole 4, and it's 327 feet. We're gonna throw our P3X. Wow. It should be parked. Who's to say?
So wait, you said that was a P3X?
Yes. So the old Innova molds.
I don't even know what that, is there anything comparable like that we have today that thing would be like?
I have absolutely no clue, which is why I'm throwing that. I mean, it's probably like 7 or 8 year old disc probably.
Maybe like an AVRX3?
Maybe I noticed the AVRX3s, they feel different. The rim is different. That's why I like the P3Xs because it fits better in my hand. But I would say the AVRX3 is just a little bit more stable, so maybe it flies like an AVR3, because I think the 3 is a little bit straighter than the X3. Like a Firefly with a bead.
Gotcha.
That'd be my guess. Wow, I made one. Let's go.
Let's go.
I guess it's similar to an invader, just more overstable.
It's a low profile like an invader. Like you said though, with a pretty pronounced bead. Pitch and putt all week. I've been keeping up on your Instagrams, girl, and I see you working out.
Yeah, I've been working out this off season. I decided that I was gonna buy a little like squat rack type thing for our extra room that we have, and I did that. And then I also met this guy, Dr. Wilcox. He does strength training, and we've been talking a bit, and he's been teaching me a little bit about what to do, like how to treat my body, especially during tournament rounds. So I've been focusing on that, working with him, and I mean, I've noticed a difference. Like, I can throw destroyers on a hyzer and they flip up to flat and they're brand new. So it's like, compared to even 4 months ago, it's a whole new Hailey. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, the way you just ripped that Hawkeye, look at that park job right here.
I guess we'll putt
Yeah,
this.
you're gonna make that one legit.
It's too easy, man.
That is a tough hole. I've seen this one on videos so many times and people out in the cabbage.
It only took 2 shots. I have a bunch of approach discs because they all do different things. So for my flippy shots, it's really weird. I'm the type of person that would rather have a disc for every single shot I want rather than making a disc do that shot than forcing a disc to do that. So a lot of players on tour beat in a disc to the point where they could throw it on hyzer and it'll turn into a roller. I don't like that. I want a disc that's brand new that's going to be a roller, right? So now I have 5 molds. I would rather just grab a disc and know what it's going to do rather than forcing myself to do that. Especially if I'm tired, your brain's not going to fire right, so it's easier to just have the disc do the job rather than me force it. These 2 I really only throw on my forehands. I have the Champion Toro and then I have the Art Pro Pig. The Toro is more overstable than the Pig, so you can see what I do there. This one's going to be more for flex shots and this one's going to be for straighter shots. So in the woods, I'm going to be leaning towards my Pig more than the Toro. And then for my backhands, I have a Halo Invader, a XT Invader, and then a P3X. The reason I have 2 Invaders is because the Halo is way more stable than the XT. And the XT is way more flippier, easier to beat in. So if I hit a tree, it's going to be exactly what I want this disc to do. I don't want my Invader, the Halo Invader, to necessarily hit a tree so it can keep the stability. And then this one, I want it to hit a tree so it can be flippy, so I can throw it on hyzers and let it flip up. But then one that will never beat in, one that will never let me down is a P3X. This thing is stupid overstable. And I like to throw hard on anhyzer, so like I throw this hard on anhyzer and that thing's coming out right away. And I mean, for me, it's a better feeling Toro that flies better for my type of throw, because I just don't have that much arm speed on my backhand for the Toro.
You lose one or one of them gets thrashed,
I get a new one right
pluck
away.
it off the shelf and you're off and running. Not like,
Yeah.
oh great, is this one in my bag that's seasoned in? Is it seasoned in just enough like that other one was?
I like my disc, but I don't like them enough to keep it in the bag for 20 years and like die over that disc, you know? I want to be able to replace them. Oh, this is a fun one. It's so tricky, but now this year you just throw a hyzer and I mean, it filters right up to the bucket. I'm gonna go with my Wraith. Super control, easy disc to throw in the woods. Hyzer.
Oh, it hit a tree at the last
That's
minute.
gonna be good practice though, because I've been parking this one way too easily.
You got the do. It's a shorter haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it's about time. I've been growing it out since, I don't know, like midnight 2019. And it was just getting so hot and just so heavy. And it took way too long to do it. Literally, if I wanted to wash my hair, it would take over an hour to wash my hair just to come through it and do all this stuff, you know. So yeah, I got annoyed of it. Now I can take a shower in under 5 minutes. So yeah. Yeah, I'm basically pin high and I hit this tree.
Yeah.
So it's definitely way more gettable. I think we'll see a lot more birdies on this hole than last year. Dang.
Oh, had the line.
Almost.
It's all right, inspiration for the round.
Whee.
I feel like we've been out here for 5 minutes.
Yeah. This is why you tee off, do your practice runs at 8 in the morning. I'm telling you.
Solo. On tournament days, do you do more than one round ever?
No.
Nope,
Never. If on tournament days, sometimes I'll practice putt, but that's if I'm feeling really bad about how the round went. I'm gonna practice putt, but if I'm feeling fine, if I'm feeling confident, I'm not gonna practice putt or practice more. Throwing shots in the tournament is already enough, I think.
Yeah.
And my body feels that way, so I'm gonna listen to my body.
What does the rest of your day look like?
Well, right after this, I will go back to my Airbnb, I'll eat, and then I'll text my friends, see if they wanna play, an hour or two a fortnight. And then usually we do that. And then after that, I'll just practice putt, and if I'm feeling good, sometimes I'll go find like a small pitch and putt course to play and just zone in on my upshots and putts like that. Make sure I'm fed and well rested for the tournament.
Hole 7, par 4, 620. Oh, I know this. This is
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a little bit of, I think, good fortune on this hole to be had on the second shot.
I would say this is probably the hardest hole to birdie out here. It's really not that hard of a hole, but it's the hardest hole to birdie if you're going for it, right? So it doesn't really matter what you want to do on their first shot. I don't like to go too far on my first shot because if I go too far, or if I try to throw too hard, that just puts in more trees into play for me. So what I do is I just take a J and I just throw it on a hyzer, pretty soft, controlled shot, try to land it in the middle, and then on the second shot, that's when I go for it. So it should be perfect.
So back on Charlotte real quick. You talked a little bit about the golf scene. What about, you have your house. Are you all settled in at the house?
Yeah, we're settled in. My sister lives there with me, and she's taking care of my kitty cat and her cat while I'm gone. Nice area that we live in. Good neighbors. It's right next to Hornet's Nest in Nevin. I could walk to Hornet's Nest and it would take me 8 minutes. You can see the bucket. It's right through the trees here. But really what you want to do is just aim for this gap on the right side, put your disc on hyzer, and hope for the best. A little early. Busy? I got through.
Looked like you threw a Hawkeye?
Yes, I threw a Hawkeye.
Nice.
Yeah.
The new Hailey King Halo Hawkeye.
I got this little pink, white and pink one here with me. And this one, I would say it flies pretty similar to the blue one that I have. And the blue one that I have is very overstable, but I've been beating it in for over a year now, probably. I got it right when my first run of Hawkeyes came out. So it's been getting beat up for a pretty while, and I'd say this one flies pretty similar to it, but I do think this one is a little bit more flippy compared to the other colors.
What do you think of that artwork?
Oh yeah, I absolutely love it. It's exactly what I was hoping for. I play a lot of video games, so it's one of my favorite characters off of Fortnite, based off of one of the characters. It's hard to not smile when you look down at that disc, It's so far.
I can see how you can get good scores here, but I can also see how you can get pretty brutal scores here.
Yes, especially if you're not watching your energy level, sugar level, all that stuff because of how many hills you're going up. Well, you don't realize, if you look back, now you see the hill that we just climbed. You don't realize we're climbing that hill the entire time, because it's so casual.
And it's hard for all the viewers to see in video that change in elevation, but I mean, we're probably going down, like 20 feet and back up?
You're not just playing golf. You have to focus about everything about you and yourself, where a lot of other golf courses, you can just focus on golf. You don't really have to care about how your body's doing this and that. But this is going to be one of the courses you have to, because the second your mind is not sharp, right? You're going to start chinking, you're going to start taking sixes and whatever, stuff like that.
Plays downhill pretty extreme off the tee, and then it's a hard uphill right turn.
This first shot, you're just trying to get it to the corner. You're just trying to land in the middle, so then you can throw your second shot. I'm gonna throw my Phantom Sword power disc. I think that should be good. Might be a little early. I'm gonna try a really aggressive route with my Road Runner. I'm gonna go backhand and try to get around that corner.
Oh, that is pretty spicy.
It's a very touchy shot. It's hard to throw a fairway driver here because you don't want it to go too far, and then if you're throwing it so soft that it's just going to end up hyzering out. But with the Road Runner, I'm lucky it's very flippy because you just put on the slightest bit of anhyzer with a lot of spin, and it's going to turn over, but it's always going to hyzer out at the end. So it's always going to end up right here in the fairway.
Hailey, since we're in the fairway, do you mind running through quickly what your fairway drivers are?
Yeah. So I'll start with my flippiest fairways. I have 2 Road Runners in here. Everybody knows what a Road Runner is. It's the easiest fairway disc to throw. Pretty flippy, so in the woods it's great. Throw everything on a hyzer, it pops up to flat and just goes a mile. Very glidey disc. I would say if you need an easy disc to throw, get yourself a Road Runner. Next, I have my Tour Series Hawkeye, both last year and this year's. I have 2 in here because I like to keep 2 of everything really, just in case I lose one, especially discs that I really like. I'll always have a backup in my bag. These discs, they're pretty much point and shoot, but they'll always have a little bit of hyzer at the end. If it's brand new, it's going to be pretty stable. You're going to have to beat it in so it goes a little bit straight, but I love these. Next, I have a Champion Thunderbird. This is just I don't know if it's this specific disc, but it's very overstable. And I love the way it feels. I'm going to throw this one in a lot of windy scenarios where I'm not going to throw my Hawkeye. It's basically, for me, similar disc, just the Hawkeye goes a little further, a little bit easier to throw. For my next overstable slot, we have the Phantom Sword or the Power Disc, whatever you want to call it. This disc I'm pretty much always going to be forehanding. It's torque resistant, it's overstable, it goes exactly where you want it. It goes pretty far. I don't think this disc has ever once turned on me, and I have a lot of torque, so it's on my forehand, so there's a lot of shots, as you saw right there, where I'm going to be turning it over, and I've never done that with this disc, and I've also never done that with this amazing Metal Flake Firebird. This thing is awesome. I think it's the Canadian National Disc Golf Championship. Not sure what the stamp is, but I absolutely love it. This run of Firebirds is my favorite. Super stiff and just
pretty
dumb.
flat too?
Yeah, dumb overstable. Yeah, it's flat, very flat. But that's all my fairways. We're gonna go with the XT Invader. If I threw it in the air, that would have been great, but it was a perfect line.
It had that mid-flight just subtle turn or flip to flat.
Yep.
Which is crazy because I throw the Luster Invader.
Oh, okay.
And you know, it just goes on whatever line you throw it on. Doesn't really have any turn on it.
Yeah.
So to watch you throw an Invader that actually has turn, that freaked me out.
That's why I like the base plastic in the Invaders or the Halo, because the Halo is like, I'd say it's just a little bit beefier of the luster. So like for me, it's just a little bit more comfortable to actually rip on. But the DX ones, they beat up just a little bit so you can get that nice little hyzer flip so you can carve the disc, you know? Oh man. Good enough.
One thing I appreciate most about your game is the rhythm of your putt. How do you maintain consistency and confidence in your putt in competition rounds?
I feel like I've never not been confident when I'm putting. I'm always making sure whenever I'm stepping up to the putt that nothing is going through my head. I'm not talking to myself, whether it is telling myself I'm gonna make it, or, you know, a lot of people are scared of it. So they're like, yeah, you got this, like you're the best putter in the world. I don't think that. I don't wanna like put any messages inside my head, because since the day I picked up a disc, I putted practice. That's the one thing I always did. I putted practice for like 3 hours a day for probably 4 or 5 years in a row. And it's like, when you do that, your body knows what to do when you step up to the bucket. It doesn't matter how far away you are, if you're 60 feet out or 5 feet out. Your body knows what to do. So the only thing you can do is trust your body and what you've done to practice, right? So I just try to keep my head clear, try not to think of anything, and let whatever happen, happen. Because we're not perfect, you know. Even when I shot my highest rated round, I missed probably 5 or 6 putts that round. Yet it's one of the highest rated rounds. It was almost the highest rated round out of any female, right?
Put in the time, so like you said, your body understands what you need to do, and it sounds like in your case, it allows your mind to relax and just let go and trust the body.
Yeah. And yeah, confidence for me is where it's at.
We didn't start on hole 1, so technically this is 8 holes with Hailey King. This is going to be our last hole because I want to let you get in some really good, solo time on your practice round here. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Hole 9, show us how it's done.
Let's do it. We're going to take our destroyer. We're going to go the hyzer route and just throw it as hard as we can, as far as we can. Yep. I think that's about as perfect as I can get it. It's weird to notice something when like you're looking at yourself, because we're our hardest critics, right? So it's very hard to like actually critique ourselves in a, I don't know, in a good way, I guess, in a positive way. And yeah, I've just, like I said, I've been working with that guy and it's been nothing but good. And clearly I'm on the right steps to where I want to be going. And yeah, I'm just proud of myself for doing that. And I want to thank you, especially Jeff. You guys and everybody at Innova has allowed me to take this step for my current health and for my future health. So I don't know where I would be without you guys. Thank you.
Got your back, Hailey.
I feel very lucky to be out here doing what I'm doing. Yeah, I think this is the farthest drive I've ever had. I'll take it. I think I'm just gonna go a little flex inside. Thanks. There's some really cool people. I love them. They're awesome. All right. Boom. Yay.
Right here.
Heck yeah.
I love it.
That was a lot of fun.
That was so cool. Thanks, Hailey.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we leave Hailey, I asked her if she had a tip that she could share with folks, and she said, "Oh, I've got one."
One thing I knew from the start that I felt very good about was always my footwork. And I was always that weird kid, in gym class that always did the grapevines, like we'd be forced to do grapevines in class. Well, that actually works.
You're saying grapevines, and there's a lot of people out there who may have no clue what the heck grapevines means.
All right, you just take a step like that and you cross, make sure your hips aren't like turning like this, or, you want to keep your feet straight, and then you go in and out, right?
And you just keep going.
You just keep going.
So give us a speed version.
So you can run and go, whoosh, right? I truly believe that that is the reason why my footwork is as good as it is. I get bored and do that stuff all day long.
Demo your grapevine in action one last time.
Grapevine in action? I don't do this footwork for forehands. I do the little scooch, so that has nothing to do with it. But here.
Grapevines, yeah.
There you go.